The breast pump was hidden in the young mother's oversized purse as Cameron Diaz talked about stepping away from career pressure and choosing family over fame. Ellen was discussing the actress's journey to motherhood and work-life balance when she noticed the woman in the fourth row constantly checking her phone while tears streamed down her exhausted face. What happened next would prove that sometimes the most important roles aren't played on movie screens, but in living rooms where new mothers learn that being imperfect at everything is better than being perfect at nothing, and that choosing yourself and your family isn't giving up. It's growing up. It was a warm and intimate Thursday afternoon at the Ellen DeGeneres show, and the studio buzzed with maternal energy. 400 audience members, many of them mothers and working women, had gathered to see one of Hollywood's most relatable stars discuss her return to the spotlight. Ellen, radiant in a soft sage green blazer with cream accents, was thoroughly enjoying her conversation with Cameron Diaz, who looked absolutely glowing in an elegant navy dress, her presence filling the studio with that blend of Hollywood glamour and hard-won wisdom about the choices women make when they decide what really matters. "Cameron," Ellen said, leaning forward with genuine warmth, "you took almost a decade away from acting to focus on your family, your personal life. That's such a rare thing in Hollywood. What did that teach you about what really matters?" Cameron's eyes lit up with the contentment that had replaced the frantic energy of her earlier career. "Ellen, I realized I had been so focused on achieving, on proving myself, on being successful by other people's standards, that I forgot to ask myself what I actually wanted. Stepping away from the pressure, choosing to be present for my family, it taught me that you can't have everything, but you can have what matters most to you." The audience responded with knowing applause, many mothers nodding with recognition. This wasn't just celebrity comeback promotion. This was validation about choices that felt deeply personal and often judged. "And the pressure on women to have it all," Ellen continued, "to be perfect mothers, perfect professionals, perfect partners. How do you talk to women who are drowning trying to be everything to everyone?" "It's heartbreaking," Cameron said honestly. "We've been sold this myth that we can excel at everything simultaneously, that if we're just organized enough, strong enough, capable enough, we can be supermom and superwoman at the same time. But something has to give. And usually it's our mental health, our sense of self, our ability to actually enjoy any of the things we're trying to be perfect at." That's when Ellen noticed her. In the fourth row, slightly to the center, sat a woman who appeared to be in her late 20s. She had shoulder-length brown hair that looked like it hadn't been professionally styled in months, wore a wrinkled blazer over a nursing-friendly top, and kept checking her phone with increasing anxiety. Her name was Jessica Martinez, though Ellen didn't know it yet. What caught Ellen's attention was the way Jessica was staring at Cameron while compulsively checking what appeared to be daycare notifications, tears streaming down her face as she seemed to be having some kind of internal crisis about being at the show instead of somewhere else. Jessica's hands were shaking as she read messages on her phone, and Ellen could see her breathing becoming rapid and irregular, clearly experiencing some form of anxiety attack. Ellen's instincts, honed through 20 years of reading her audiences, told her this wasn't someone inspired by Cameron's message about choosing what matters. This was someone drowning in the exact pressure Cameron was describing. "Cameron," Ellen said gently, "hold that thought about drowning trying to be everything to everyone. I think someone in our audience is experiencing exactly that right now." Cameron followed Ellen's gaze towards Jessica, her expression immediately shifting from entertainer to deeply concerned advocate, as she recognized the signs of someone in acute distress. Ellen stood up from her chair and took several steps toward the audience. "Sweetheart in the fourth row with the phone, are you okay?" Jessica looked up, mortified by the sudden attention of 400 people and multiple cameras. She tried to quickly put her phone away and stop crying, clearly panicking about being seen as unstable. "I'm fine," Jessica said, her voice tight with barely controlled emotion. "I'm sorry. I should probably leave. I shouldn't have taken time away from... I have so much I should be doing." Ellen walked down the steps that separated the stage from the audience, something she did only when every instinct told her someone was drowning in impossible expectations. "What's your name, honey?" Ellen asked, now standing directly in front of Jessica's row. "Jessica Martinez. I'm a marketing manager at a tech company. And I'm a mom. My daughter Sofia is 8 months old." Ellen knelt down in the aisle beside Jessica's row, her sage green blazer spreading around her as she created a safe space in what must have felt like overwhelming vulnerability. "Jessica, what's happening on your phone that's making you so upset?" Jessica looked down at her device, then back up at Ellen with such raw exhaustion and guilt that it made everyone in the studio understand they were witnessing someone at her breaking point. "Messages from daycare. Sofia has been crying for an hour, and they're asking if I can pick her up early. But I'm here, and I have a presentation tomorrow that I haven't finished, and my boss already thinks I'm not committed since I came back from maternity leave." Her voice was getting faster, more panicked. "I feel like I'm failing at everything." The studio fell into that particular silence that happens when hundreds of people realize they're watching someone's mental health crisis unfold in real time. From the stage, Cameron Diaz stood up immediately. Without being asked, without consulting producers, she walked down to join Ellen and Jessica. This celebrity interview had just become something infinitely more urgent. Cameron approached Jessica with the careful reverence of someone who understood the impossible math of modern motherhood. "Jessica," Cameron said softly, "when was the last time you slept through the night?" Jessica's composure cracked completely. "I don't remember. Sofia still wakes up every 2 hours, and I use that time to catch up on work emails. I'm surviving on 3 hours of sleep and coffee, and I feel like I'm losing my mind." Ellen felt her heart breaking as she watched this young mother voice the struggles millions of women face in silence. "Jessica, how are you feeling about being a mother?" "Terrified that I'm terrible at it," Jessica admitted through her tears. "I love Sofia so much it physically hurts, but I don't know what I'm doing. I worry constantly that I'm damaging her, that I'm not bonding with her right, that she'd be better off with someone more natural at this." Cameron knelt beside Ellen, creating an intimate circle while Jessica continued to check her phone compulsively. "Jessica, have you talked to anyone about these feelings?" "Who would I talk to?" Jessica asked. "All the other moms at daycare seem to have it figured out. My own mother keeps telling me how natural motherhood was for her, and my coworkers act like having a baby is just a minor inconvenience that shouldn't affect my performance." Cameron's expression had shifted into something Ellen had rarely seen from any celebrity. A fierce maternal protectiveness combined with deep recognition of the lies society tells women about motherhood. "Jessica, I want you to listen to me very carefully," Cameron said with quiet intensity. "Everything you just described, the exhaustion, the guilt, the feeling like you're failing at everything, that's not personal failure. That's what happens when society sets up impossible expectations and then blames women for not meeting them." Ellen stood up slowly, her heart racing as she realized they were witnessing the kind of postpartum crisis that too many women suffer through alone. "Jessica, have you been screened for postpartum anxiety or depression?" Jessica looked confused. "I'm not depressed. I'm just overwhelmed and anxious all the time." "But that's normal for new moms, right?" "No," Cameron said firmly. "Feeling like you're drowning, not sleeping, constant worry about being a bad mother, that's not normal adjustment. That sounds like postpartum anxiety, and it's treatable." Jessica stared at Cameron as if she was speaking a foreign language. "But I thought postpartum depression was when mothers don't bond with their babies. I love Sofia desperately. Postpartum anxiety often looks like loving your baby so much you're terrified you'll hurt them, worrying constantly about their safety, feeling like you're not good enough to be their mother. Ellen explained gently. It's not about not loving them. It's about your brain being flooded with stress hormones that make everything feel impossible. Cameron reached into her purse and pulled out something unexpected. Her own phone, showing a contact for a maternal mental health specialist. Jessica, I want to give you the number of someone who helped me when I was struggling with the transition to motherhood. Because what you're experiencing, you don't have to go through it alone. She showed Jessica the contact. And I want you to call in sick tomorrow. Not because you're weak, but because you need to take care of yourself so you can take care of Sofia. Jessica stared at the phone number like Cameron was offering her a lifeline she didn't know existed. But my presentation, my job. Your presentation will happen or it won't, and the world will keep spinning, Cameron said gently. But your mental health, your ability to be present for your daughter, that's irreplaceable. You can't pour from an empty cup, Jessica. Ellen felt tears welling in her own eyes as she watched Cameron use her own experience to counsel someone in crisis. Jessica, what would happen if you gave yourself permission to be imperfect at everything for a while? I don't know, Jessica said, fresh tears streaming. Maybe I'd sleep. Maybe I'd stop feeling like I'm constantly letting everyone down. Maybe I'd actually enjoy being with Sofia instead of feeling guilty that I'm not working, or working and feeling guilty I'm not with her. Ellen began removing her sage green blazer. Jessica, this blazer has been with me through some of my most important interviews. But today it's witnessing something more important than any celebrity story. It's witnessing someone choosing healing over hustle. She placed the blazer around Jessica's shoulders. You came here today feeling like you were failing at everything. But taking time to see a show, to think about your own needs, that's not selfish, that's self-preservation. But it was Cameron's next words that broke through Jessica's conditioning completely. Jessica, I want you to know something. The voice telling you that you're failing as a mother and a professional, that voice is lying. You're not failing. You're trying to succeed at 2 full-time jobs with no training, no support, and no sleep. That's not failure. That's superhuman effort under impossible circumstances. Cameron stood up and addressed the cameras directly. If there are mothers watching this who are drowning in guilt, who feel like they're failing because they can't be perfect at everything, please know that you're not alone. Please know that asking for help isn't giving up. It's the most important thing you can do for your children and yourself. The moment that brought the entire studio to sustained applause came when Ellen asked Jessica what she wanted to say to other mothers who were struggling. I want them to know that we've been lied to about what motherhood is supposed to look like, Jessica said, her breathing finally returning to normal as she looked at Cameron's therapist contact. I want them to know that loving your child and feeling overwhelmed by motherhood aren't contradictions. And I want them to know that getting help doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Cameron's eyes filled with tears of recognition. That's exactly right, Jessica. Asking for help is the strongest thing you can do. 2 weeks later, Jessica Martinez was working with a perinatal mental health specialist and had been diagnosed with postpartum anxiety. Her company, inspired by her story, implemented better mental health support for new parents. 3 months after that, Jessica appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show again, but this time she was glowing with health and brought baby Sofia, who was thriving. Cameron appeared in person to celebrate Jessica's recovery and announced the launch of a maternal mental health foundation. The segment sparked a national conversation about postpartum anxiety, the impossible pressure on working mothers, and the importance of supporting women during the transition to motherhood. Jessica became an advocate for maternal mental health awareness, speaking at companies about the reality of returning to work after having a baby. Ellen learned that day that her job wasn't to interview famous people about their latest projects. Her job was to create moments where societal lies about motherhood could be challenged, where women could be given permission to struggle and seek help, and where the conversation about having it all could be replaced with the wisdom of choosing what matters most. Cameron Diaz learned that the most important performances happen not on movie screens, but in moments when her own journey through motherhood gives someone else permission to prioritize their mental health over societal expectations. And Jessica Martinez learned that sometimes the scariest thing you can do, admitting you're drowning when everyone expects you to be swimming, is also the most important thing you can do for your child and every mother who comes after you. Because the most powerful roles aren't always the ones that win awards. Sometimes they're the ones that happen in pediatrician offices, where mothers learn that postpartum anxiety is treatable, in workplaces where companies learn to support new parents, and in living rooms where women discover that being imperfect at everything is infinitely better than being perfect at nothing, especially when it comes to raising the humans who need them most.